Well, hello, Angela. How are you doing this evening?
Doing really well. How are you?
Wonderful. So, how was your weekend?
It was very good. I did the psychic fair at the Lafayette Hotel. Did a lot of very interesting readings. And of course, the Lafayette Hotel is always a beautiful place to be, and it is a haunted hotel. And we always have great food and great staff, and the vendors are, always good there, and nice to see everybody. And I had some very interesting experience too, because I was using my spirit box and had a group of people, a group of boys. They introduced themselves, and it says, "We are the people of the 13 colors." Who are the people of the 13 colors? I did a little research, and I really, these had to be angels, because each angel has a different light ray that they are in charge, like a different color. Well, it turns out there are exactly 13 colors that the human eye can't see. 13 colors. So there are 13 more colors that we can't see, that angels are assigned to, that the human mind can't even perceive color wise.
Interesting.
Yeah. Really.
Very interesting. Yeah, I knew there was many colors that we could not see. I didn't know how many they were, so that was interesting to know. We kind of forget, right? So, welcome, Allison, everybody
Right.
to the show tonight. So, did you vote yet, or are you going tomorrow?
I already voted, so I did that early voting, and I've got that taken care of. I'm glad I did. We do have a lot of more, like, just as important as the local elections. So I was very focused on that also, because we do have quite a few people up for changes in local offices here in Guernsey
Right,
County.
right. Yeah, we are having a special show tonight at 10:30 p.m. after this show. We are going to talk about the election a little bit and also have a special prayer for the country. I don't know. A little twisted, may want to tune in for this one. And welcome, Allison, to the Bigfoot Outlaw program and channel. Nice to have you. If this is your first time, welcome. Nice to see you here. If you want a reading, Allison, just let us know. We'll put you in the pot. Anybody else wants a reading, let us know as we get ready to get into it here. I'll put you to the side, and in a few minutes, we'll click on your name and get you going. So we went to Crybaby Bridge the other night, and
Mhm.
that was very interesting. A lot of local folklore there about the woman. Yes, Allison, I got you taken care of. Thanks for first time being here. Thank you. And did some investigations on there. Went a little too early in the evening because there was still a lot of traffic going across the bridge.
Mhm.
Folklore is that I think. Can you give me a little rundown on the folklore about Crybaby Bridge, Mary? I got my secretary here.
50s, I think, is what it was. 50s or 60s. Mother was the infant that supposedly drowned off the bridge.
Yeah, mother, and I don't know if did you hear what she said?
I didn't quite hear
All
what.
right, so mother in the 50s or 60s wrecked, went off the bridge with an infant and died. And
Oh
then there
wow.
was some other folklore to where back in the days, you know how people got rid of their children that they did not want, right?
Mm.
They would go to a bridge or whatever and dispose. But anyways, so that's yeah. Well, thank you, Allison. I didn't know. Usually I have my studio mics, my headphones, my booms, and everything else. And so we went out there because they say at midnight you can hear the baby cry. When we first got out there, we set up REM pods and everything else, and we didn't get to actually listen to all of our audio, but we did have some activity off the REM pods from the bridge. But with the cars going in and out, the bridge is very narrow because they did replace it from the old wrought iron bridge because it was so old.
Right.
Because the activity out there, I guess, for the paranormal investigators. Hey, Liana, welcome to the show. Nice to have you. They got cameras up there, so they monitor this bridge 24 hours a day, and there are signs. We did have headlamps on, and we did let the cars know that we were there. before they even came to the bridge and so forth. And let them know before they got to the bridge that we were on there. So we were very safe. So after that, we went to a local cemetery, won't disclose. And we had several cameras set up, 4 or 5 REM pods set up. And one of our investigators captured a field mouse on a gravestone. But we found out by listening to some of the audio, he chased it around the headstone like 5 or 6 times before he caught it. Then it bit him. And then we found him dangling in front of one of the cameras. I have no idea what this investigator was doing. And he was walking around to the headstones, but it's got to be a bloopers reel, right? So, but my mics on my cameras are very, very sensitive, and they really pick up, even with the wind boom on it, right? The phone wind boom. And Mary was listening to audio last night, and she was like, "You got to listen to this." It sounded like there was conversations going around us, talking about us being in the cemetery. And I tell you how the cemetery is. There was a soldier from the Revolutionary War there.
Wow.
Yeah. And she was running through programs to try to decipher what it was. And it was a male and a female, it sounded like, having conversation, but we couldn't make it out. And none of us were talking, and you can hear me talking, right? One of my high-end cameras got drained. One of the REM pods, they drained it. And we were putting REM pods on headstones and tombstones, and it would go off like there was electronics below it. And we would move it to another grave, and it wouldn't go off. And I kept resetting them and to zero it out. And as soon as I do it, it would go bonkers. And I'm like, well, they were like, is it malfunction? I'm like, no, because we would move it to another grave and it would stop. So, and I was like, well, evidently they did not like him on their headstone. So one of the investigators, Chaz, was going around, and I think he went around this small cemetery and introduced himself to everybody that he can read the name on the headstones. Some of them are so old. The headstones that are just the headstones at all, like by the old Wild Wild West, 1700s, 1800s, were so brittle because they were only about that thick. They actually had a frame around it because it was broken to hold the pieces in there. Very fascinating. Oh, it was creepy. Mary Scott Orr, everything else there. Go ahead, Angela.
I was going to say, when you come to Salt Fork, there are, one of these days, you got to do a paranormal investigation here because there's the Kennedy House, and there are actually graves that are under the water out from the Kennedy House. There's a cemetery nearby, and there is also another cemetery that's just down the road from me, the Kim Bolton Cemetery, that is quite old, and there are several lost cemeteries that are just in the woods around here that I have coordinates from, that you can actually go and walk to, and these are, they're just a few stones left. And of course, there's old foundations around here, and there is the foundations behind our property are haunted. And then the foundations, another foundation, it's a little bit of a hike in the woods to my dad's old deer stand down there. And people have seen apparitions and heard voices and down there in that area, because it used to be a lot of homes here. Then the state bought it up, bought the land and turned it into a park. So a lot of this used to be former private land, a lot of farmland here. And there used to be a silo. In fact, we've taken the fish finder out in the lake, and you find the foundation of the old farm silos at the bottom of the lake. So there's actually quite a bit around here that's interesting like that. Old cemeteries, old homes, and of course their foundations and their old cellars and everything here. Their old homesteads. Down at Gibson Farm is both known for Bigfoot and for those abandoned houses, and also the old cemeteries down there as well. So
wow.
I got a little bit of everything going on here. I plan to go on an investigation to the old infirmary in it's Lancaster, Ohio. It's called the Philfield Infirmary, so that was the poorhouse. And this Saturday, I will be at the Anchorage Mansion, at the Haunted Anchorage Mansion, doing private readings there. And there's usually always something paranormal that goes on every time I go. And Mr. Putman, one of the Putmans, he's just so funny as a spirit. He's just a little bit playful, and I think he's really funny. So I'm sure he'll come up with something new when I'm there. Besides playing with my phone or whatever he feels like doing. But yeah, interesting. And I'm still getting some interesting results. I had a spirit guide introduce himself to me by name and out loud to me, a new one.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, very interesting. And that he's coming. It's like I'm the new guy, and then it's what I find that if you use a spirit box, and if you are an investigator, that you turn it on in your home. Now, some people advise against that, but I like to get familiar with everybody who's are my guys and who are my spirit friends who are always with me. So if I go to a haunted location, I can tell if it's my group of people who are talking, or is it a new spirit that's associated with the property and not one of my spirits.
Right.
They'll actually talk. The people that are around me will talk a lot more, especially Sedgwick, who seems to talk nonstop at times. And if I hear a different voice from any of those, then I know it's probably the spirit that belongs to that property, not anyone around me. It's just one of the things that I've learned with working with some of that equipment is a lot of times it's your own spirits who are talking. It's not spirits at the property that you're picking up.
Right. Hey, Levon and Nelda. I got both of you online. And before we get to Allison here, so what happened with us, people that are following me and on my friends list, is that we went over to Chaz and Nate's house for a bonfire. And they were like, we want to go ghost hunting. And this was like 8:30 at night. And they were like, Grizzly, you got all your equipment? And I'm like, well, I've got some equipment at Mary's place, because we've been traveling and everything. And they were like, let's go. And I'm like, tonight? And he got on his phone. He goes, let's go to Crybaby Ridge or Crybaby Bridge. And he looked it up and he was telling me about it. And I'm like, really? And he goes, we can go back and I'll help you get the equipment. And Mary and everybody's like, yeah. And I'm sitting next to this bonfire. It was all nice and warm. I'm like, all right, let's go. And next thing you know, man, we were out for hours. We went to there, went to the cemetery, and then it got cold. And we was like, I'm in cargo shorts, man, and a hoodie. But I took a bunch of cameras and some REM pods, my spirit box, and all kinds of stuff. But we had a ball. Allison, are you still here? If you are, come on up. Just saying hello. Nilda, I got you in line here. And don't tell me too much, Nilda, because I already picked up on a lot. Okay, she's here. All right, Allison, welcome to the show. Nice to have you here. Angela is a psychic medium. And since you're new here, I'll let Angela tell you what she does and how she does things. Go ahead, Angela.
Okay, I am a psychic artist. I actually paint portraits of spirits who are around people and spirits that communicate with me. Sometimes they send me images and I'll paint them or paint them themselves or paint what they want me to show you. That's what I also do. But I also do rune readings. So here on this show is I pick up information off of runes, and runes are the alphabet of most of the Germanic and Scandinavian languages. So that's the runes have been around for thousands of years. And that's what we primarily communicated in writing was with the runes. So each rune is not only a sound, like the letter of an alphabet, but also is an image and a meaning to each one. It's not just a letter. And so whatever I get off of those, I go ahead and read those to you.
Oh, she says she's got a painting of yours. She's I
Oh
just
yeah,
never seen it one of your lives. See, interesting. Okay, great.
yeah. She has it. I think she has. I don't know. I think you have more than one painting, if I remember correctly. I think I did more than one painting for you.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and I did a lot of artwork this week, and I actually went running on the 5K the day
That's
before,
awesome.
and then set up and did my artwork the next day. So that was interesting. I was glad I got the 5K in. So before I went to the psychic fair, just because I feel like I have to be in shape to carry all my equipment upstairs to, when I'm painting, and have all the easels and tables and everything I need to bring. Okay, and then who's up for the first reading?
Allison.
All right. So Allison. So let me see the first ring. The first ring that comes up for you. This is Tiwaz. This is usually oath, promise. It's also pointing to the North Star, and this is also victory. What I'm getting the impression off of this is, I feel like you made a promise, like it's almost like you are fulfilling a duty. Like this is your first priority. It feels like it's a duty to someone else, like taking care of a child or something, or a relative, something like that. It just feels like I'm carrying out this duty. I made this promise, and you're doing it very well. I got the impression the room is telling me that you're doing this very well. You're holding up this promise. You're keeping it very well. The next rune I have for you is Urus. So Urus is the rune of strength. It's also resilience. I got that you have a lot of strength, that you have persevered, that you continue to persevere. And it feels like you're going to have to persevere for a long while yet. But it's well within your ability to continue that perseverance. It's like you have so much strength. It's that you have to endure a little bit, but it's not something that you're not used to. It's something that you're accustomed to. And the next rune I got, this is Yera. So this is where we get the English word year from, and German Jahr. And this usually means harvest. So I'm getting that eventually you're not going to have to persevere, but you're going to get a rich payoff, which is some sort of harvest, some sort of reward and blessing for everything that you put in. That's all that kindness. All the spirit world is going to pay you back for all of the kindness and for holding up your duty and persevering through this. So there is a great reward in your future. It is coming up, and heaven is just going to pour blessings out on you.
Interesting. All right, here, let's see who's up. Living purpose through God's word. Yes, I'll ask Angela that question here. All right, next up is Nilda. Nilda, I'll let Angela start, and I'll chime in when Angela's done. So,
All right.
yes, Allison, absolutely. She says, thank you, Angela.
You are welcome. Okay. And you said Nilda?
Nilda.
Okay. Can I see her name on the screen?
Yeah.
Nilda Gonzalez? Okay. Thank you, Nilda. Okay. So I felt drawn to these runes for you. These are white quartz. The first rune I got is Isa. We actually get the English word ice for this. Isa, usually when I see this, it means patience, delay, pause. I'm feeling a delay and pause put together. So there is a delay for you, but use that delay for your time for introspection and meditation. This is what this rune is telling me, to take that time. Don't see it as a delay, as a setback. See it as a gift of more time for you, okay, to work on you. The next rune I have is Ansus. So Ansus is wisdom, and particularly speaking wisdom. And with Ansus, for speaking wisdom, I feel like the spirit world is speaking to you. It feels like it's a spirit guide. And I hear a male that is talking to you and is constantly speaking wisdom to you. And this actually, I see gold. I see gold wings. So when I see golden wings, I see that's an angel who is specializing in wisdom. And he is constantly talking. I can hear him constantly talking. And that when you go into this introspection and this delay, which is actually you need to see as an advantage for you, is more time for you for the introspection. Do that meditation, that deep breath, put everything aside, let go of your worries, your concerns, take that deep breath and just open your mind up. Allow yourself to rest without thoughts, without observing, without worry. Just let yourself rest and allow yourself to be open and ask for your angel to come in it, because I hear him constantly talking to you. He's saying that you're actually, he's telling me that some of what he's saying is actually getting through, and that's why he's talking so much. He has to talk so much so that you can hear and repeat so much so you can pick up at least some of what he's saying. But I feel like that you need to imagine opening up your mind and your heart and asking for clarity to hear him and to listen to him. The next rune I have for you is Thorisos. So Thorisos usually means boundaries, but also danger, anything sharp. What I'm getting here is caution. Caution. Like a caution message, like don't do anything risky. Um, don't put any more strain on yourself than you've already been. Don't take on anything else. Just focus on you right now and just take that time to listen, focus, um, empty yourself and connect with spirit and let spirit guide you through this.
Very interesting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm gonna. She said yes, very true. So I just want to throw this out here. I kind of know Nilda a little bit, and so Nilda and I do. Let me blow myself up a little bit. Kind of talk from time to time. So, but some of the things I do not know. But she asked a question earlier. So I did pull some cards just to see what I was thinking and see what I've been picking up on the past few days, because she has been reaching out to me to talk to me. I do see that there has been a transition with you, Nelda. Hey, Crystal, welcome back, hon. Nice to see you. A transition with you with the family member, which you have confirmed. So what I see is been confirmed with you with your mother. So I'm glad to see that. But some of the cards I do see, well, you can't see because my green screen. I do see that you have been struggling with some finances, but I also see that that's going to be turning within the next 4 to 7. When I see 4 to 7, that's probably mean 4 to 7 months. Uh, but I do see that there is. I don't know if I can get this right in the card, right in the camera. I never can with the green screen. There we go. A little bit no. But to answer your question, you may not be there. Sometimes the soul or the loved one may not want you to be present during the passing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Crystal, I'll put you in line, hon. Uh, but there is going to be some heavy burden on your heart. But we talked about this before, so I do see that you have made some hard choices and some hard decisions. Uh, you're doing the right thing, and it's really hard to take care of a loved one. And I don't know if you told me or if you have. I don't know. Hey, Brian, did you tell me that hospice is involved, or am I seeing hospice, or did you tell me and I'm seeing it and it's being confirmed? So let me know, because sometimes I get it backwards, or you telling me and I'm confirming it, or I'm seeing it and you're confirming it. So, because I don't remember conversations very well because I talk to so many people and I get busy. But I do see that. Some of the things, everybody that's watching the show now, if you've never been around hospice or somebody passing, some of the signs when it's near is that they will say they see loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
that they would come visit them and tell them it's near. And if they're not in the right sign of mind, whether they have Alzheimer's or what's the other one?
Well, they may have
But you got Alzheimer's, and what's the other one? Dementia.
dementia.
Okay. So if they're not in the right sign of mind, right, where they can't remember or think clearly, Crystal just said it, they'll reach up like they're grabbing for something, or they'll say they're seeing something, or they will talk when they'll reach up. Here, let me turn this off for a second. Hold on. Present settings, virtual background. Let me hit none. There we go. They'll actually reach up into the sky, like Crystal's saying, and they'll be talking or mumbling. That is some signs to look for. And they will run a fever sometimes. But that is some really close signs that they are going. Give them confidence and tell them it's okay to go, because sometimes they want to hold on, and tell them go to the light. It's okay to go to the light, because sometimes they're scared. Even though that you don't think they can hear you, the spirit does hear you. Hey, Joey, welcome to the show.
And often they'll get really lucid. They get close to the end if they have dementia or Alzheimer's or the main artery of the brain is
Right.
Clogged or corroded or frail. Right near the end, they will often get extremely lucid, and for that reason, for the souls about the past. Also, you may get announcements in your dreams from relatives that who have passed, and they'll come to you and say, "We're coming for, you're coming for this person. We're coming for this loved one. We're here. We're waiting," which I've had many times, and when people have passed or about to pass, even before they knew.
Okay. So Nelda's saying she didn't get to tell me. So Nelda, so how I work is sometimes I think that we've talked and we haven't. That's some of the things I do. And I'll ask people before, did we have this conversation? They look at me like I'm crazy. And Nelda's also saying, yes, she is talking to her loved ones. So that is a sign, and she's saying goodbye to all of us. And I don't mean to say this harshly, because I care about everybody and their loved ones. Sometimes we know if we're not going to make it or it is time, and some people just know that, hey, I'm just tired. And like when my aunt passed, when she was over at my mom's house, she looked at me on the couch and she was like, "It's time. I just don't. It's just too much of a struggle. It's just time for me to go." And it's just like, what are you talking about? You can't talk like that. I mean, you got to fight, right? But it's just people know. Hey, Michelle, nice to have you. So, however it may be, Nilda, do you have, for some reason, I'm showing more paperwork. What does this mean? So, Nilda, talk to me about paperwork. She is tired and she wants to go. Yeah. Okay. But what's this with paperwork? Is everything okay with paperwork or something? Or somebody disagreeing with paperwork? Because I'm showing paperwork and I'm showing a question mark. So it's just weird that I'm seeing that. But rest assured, you made all the right decisions, and you're doing great. And I'm showing that things are going to really start getting brighter for you. She wants to go back to her home, and that's commonly what a lot of people do, and a lot of people will say. So yes. So hopefully that helps, Nelda.
And then I just pulled some more runes. So I also had Algies, Iwas, and Pertho.
24 hours. Okay. Thank you, Nelda.
That Algies means sanctuary, rest, and then Iwas here meaning journey, and then the last rune is Pertho, which is the future. So it just it actually confirms her journey is already there. And it's showing that immediate, like this is a journey to her sanctuary, like her final home, like her final journey in the future, and it's showing the future. So So it's like everything is in place for her. So there's nothing for her to be concerned or worried about. It's all taken care of on the other side for her.
No, absolutely. Like Little Twisted says, no, we're all sending prayers and everything. I mean, it's very rough. I mean, I still have all my family besides my grandparents and stuff. And, my parents are getting a little older. So Godspeed to you. But Nilda, you have my phone number. You can text me anytime. You're welcome, Nilda. Next up is Levon. Levon, come on down, hon.
All right. Levon. Hello, Levon. And go ahead and I'll pull these roots here for you. So, Levon, the very first rune I got here is Urus, which is iron and the drizzling rain, but it is representing strength and resilience. I'm actually being told that this is upcoming, so you're going to be called upon to draw upon your greatest strength and resilience. So you're going to be in a situation that's going to be calling upon your strength and resilience to endure. Okay, it's going to take a lot to get through. So the next rune we have for you, Levon, is, well, it's the blank rune, so I need set to draw again. So the next rune is Dagaz. So Dagaz is the rune of enlightenment. It's the awareness of the light and dark. It's also the height of the sun in the noonday sky, the maximum height. What I'm feeling off of this with Dagaz is that I feel like you realize that this what you have to endure, this difficulty that you'll be having to rely on your resilience to get through. You realize that it was a lesson that was meant for you. Okay, and that you realize that, and you come through it. You come through it on the other side, realizing you have learned that lesson, and then you can look back on it as an accomplishment of something that you have done. So the next rune I have for you is Sowilo. Sowilo is the lightning bolt. It's a ray of light. It's also like epiphany, realization. And I got here success. Like once you get through it, there's great success just beyond it. So once you realize that lesson is over, you've learned it, you passed through, you've drawn on your resiliency, because I feel like the lesson for you there are just some things that just put you to the test. And the only reason we go through it is to test your resiliency and your inner strength. And then once you get through it, then success awaits after.
Yeah. Crystal says those are pretty, beautiful stones. Those are my favorite. Lapis.
This is not the lapis lazuli. These are, I believe they called them, I believe there was some sort of cobalts or something like that. That is a different mineral, but it's also blue.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of stones, I don't know if Mary's paying attention or listening to the podcast. I just got a shipment of pocket stones in. So we'll be getting those. Yeah, I think we got like, I don't know. Next up's Liana. And when she's getting that, how many different stones did we get in? I think 12 different stones. Well, I think there's like 5 of each. 5 times 12 is 96, right? No, 72. So I think, yeah, so about 7 or 8 different types of stones. All right, Liana.
Okay, Liana King. And there's also the wooden stones too. They are also very durable. They're also very light, easy to travel with. So Liana King, the first rune I got for you is Gabo. So Gabo is gift. And I'm feeling trust here. Trust. It feels like you're being asked to trust, and you're wondering whether or not it's worth trusting this person. I feel like this is a gift. I feel like you're being presented this gift that, yes, you can trust. You can trust this person. The next rune I have for you, this is Othala. So Othala is oneness, it's DNA, it's family, it's inheritance, it's honor, it's wealth. It has a lot of implications. Also, the Orlog, or human destiny, a universal destiny. And I have from this, Iana, I'm feeling family, a strong family ties. It feels like there is something that is being passed down through your bloodline. Something that, and it's through your bloodline, but it's something that ties in also with your personal destiny. And it's something that has been passed down to you, okay, through your actual bloodline. And since this applies more the female bloodline as opposed to the male bloodline, so your maternal line. Okay, and the next rune I got for you is Helgelas. So Helgelas, that Halloween rune, but it's the Hellstone. It usually means like interference, transformation. It feels like things are going to be in a jumble and for a little while before things get sorted out, but they will be sorted out. And it's a matter, and what I see is like there's stuff is going on everywhere, and it's like stuff is flying through the air and all around you, and you're just trying to grab stuff and get it all organized. That's what I feel like you're going to go through, but eventually you will get this all organized and taken care of. But there is something going on with your bloodline, something that a repeated pattern that is being passed down through the mother's line, and that has to also is also affecting your personal destiny.
Interesting. So Mary got some of the stones out to show you what the pocket stones look like. I'll be having them on the website. They're pocket stones that you can either hang or keep in your purse or your pocket, and they're different types. I gotta fix my camera. Camera's not right. I need to reverse my camera. Hold on. So, but she says there's 24 different stones I've got. Let me camera undo my camera. There we go. This way you can see when I'm holding up. You can read it. See, there's the peach. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's a really nice stone. I mean, Albertine.
Golden quartz. You know, I mean, 24 different stones. So rose quartz.
It's amazing. That has such amazing energy.
And these are good sized stones. I mean, if I hold them in my hand, they're good sized stones. They're bigger than marbles, way bigger than marbles. So, but like I said, I'll have all that on the website and stuff. Yeah. Information. Thank you. Oh my God, those things you hit right on the head. Yeah. Angela is always good. I love it when she reads me. All right, Angela, are you ready for the next one?
Yes, I am.
Okay, this is a duper booper. So this is what Mary wants to know. And she wants to know, Angela, let me pull up her comments here. And she asked, Angela, can you do a reading about the presidency and what the future holds for America? And take it away.
All right, so I'll have to do more than one rune reading. Actually, I did one recently, and it showed that it looked like Trump was put in a position of victory, but I also saw that Camilla was having security rushed around her as if she's being whisked away and had to be protected by something, like some sort of commotion or chaos or something. And that's what I saw recently, fairly recent. It's like last week I did a rune reading, but it would actually take me about three rune readings since.
Now I know what Bart Simpson's or the Simpsons predicted, so I ain't gonna go there.
Okay, so let's talk about Trump. Let me just do a reading to see what Trump stones look like, and we'll do Camilla's, and then we'll do America overall. Okay, so, but like I said, these are patterns as they were right then. So right when I did that reading, and I did readings earlier and talked about it a little bit on my website, on my Facebook page, some of what I was seeing. So let's start.
Oh no! I want to throw out a disclaimer real quick. Hold on here. Hold on. Let me throw out a disclaimer. Hold up. 2 disclaimers. First one we're going to do is this one. Okay. And the second disclaimer, we don't wish harm on anybody. We are a
Right.
spiritual channel, Levon, and we don't wish anybody any harm or anything. But when somebody showed me the symptoms, I was like, whoa, that Angela said that. I know exactly my thoughts on the. Anyways, go ahead, Angela.
All right. So let's look at Trump. We're doing separate readings since 3 is a sacred number to the runes and into the Celts and to many Germanic tribes. We're going to do 333. So the first, let's do Trump. So for Donald Trump. So the first rune I get is harvest. So this means success. Like he's getting rewarded for all of his hard work that he put in. Okay, so harvest. This implies success for him. Okay, and the next rune I got, this came up for him in every reading I've done for him, which is this is death and regeneration, also communication. Now, since he's not changing his communication style anytime soon, I wish he would, because I don't like his communication style. But this implies recovery, like he's recovering from all the difficult things, like recovering for everything that he's been put through. Okay, so like a completely new, changed person with like a new light, a new hope for him. The next rune, this is Ingwas. So Ingwas is the rune of protection, stability, and I feel like he's firmly put in place, like he firmly establishes power or his position, whatever that position is. Now, this might be the position of presidency. This is what the runes is implying. But whatever it is, it's a position of power. So even if it kind of applies too, that even if he doesn't get to become president, he's in a solid position of power and influence. Okay. But it's showing on here harvest, like victory, like he's going to be reaping a reward, recovery, right? Regeneration, like all of that's in the past, and then solid footing, security, and also in a lot of power. Okay, so that is Trump. Let's just see what the runes say about Camilla. And I did a painting on Trump and Camilla that's more in depth. That was a message from the Blessed Mother of God, too. You can go to my Facebook page and read along that. I can't take all the time because it's too long of a post to go through all the symbolism in the paintings and what was being shown there. So the next one for Camilla, just to see what Camilla's runes look like. First rune is Ulu, so this is strength. So she has just been enduring, trying to just get through it. Like, this is my goal. Let's just get through this. The next rune for Camilla, also Ingwas, protection. Okay, so I see this one is showing that she has a circle of protection around her. These are all men. So these are all men that are not just supporting, but I feel like they're tightly controlling her. It's if she's not doing anything that she says, anything that she does is not from her own will. It's from these men that are around her that feel like control her completely. And they're protecting her. But the reason why they're protecting her is because they're the power behind her. Okay? If she gets in power, they get in power. Okay, that's what I'm picking up from this rune. It's almost like she's imprisoned and is afraid of them. So she feels more like a pawn in this game rather than somebody who is taking control and wants that position. Okay, so the next rune I have, this is Nadis. This is asphyxiation, suffocation, okay, and emergency, crisis. So when I'm seeing this, I'm seeing crisis. Like this going to be a crisis she's not going to be able to face or control. This is out of her hands, and so is the crisis. So whatever the result, the result is, it just shows crisis, suffocation. Like I just see like people turning on her, like her own people, that all the people that were supporting her turn on her is what it looks like to me. And it looks like she's literally, it's almost like she's politically buried. It's like people, or her entourage, her people that had secretly had supported her, and I'm trying to bury her and making sure she never has a career again in politics. It's like they want her to be forgotten.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, so now, and now let's do the third set of runes. Okay, I'm not making predictions. I'm just going with the runes. This is what the runes say. Okay, so the third set, the third I'm going to do is going to be the direction of the country. So as a whole, we just see what it comes up with. You know, there's so much up in the air, and there's so many of those. How would you say at this point in history, there's so many flashpoints that we could go off with. There's China and Taiwan, there's the Ukraine, there's the Middle East, plus the vision in this country, and plus the people sneak in.
Iran now.
Yeah, and plus sleeper cells and cyber attacks. We think you might want to think outside of the box too, because you never know when something could happen domestically as well. So let's take a look here. Alice's trigger, like her comment, we're in the show no matter what. Yeah.
I'm not. Just go ahead.
It's Andy. The worst musical ever. Musical. That's when I see all these politicians and all the ads and everything. It reminds me of a musical, the way they come on with with the presentation and the music and blah 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 and blah 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 and then the media, and it's like, oh, this is a song and dance, the same song and dance we get every election year with the campaigning and the commercials and the ads and I call it a musical, but like a really annoying musical that just keeps going on and you just want it to end. That's why I call it a crazy musical. But let me take a look here and see what we're talking about for the direction of the country. In fact, I did a lot of artwork on this from the Blessed Mother on my website, and I did a lot of explanation. Again, don't have time to go through all of it here, but I was given visions and so forth that we're being judged. So I will go into a little bit of that. But let's just see what the runes say. So for the direction of the country after the election, so post-election, I got harvest. So harvest meaning reap what you sow. I'm feeling some some celebration going on. It feels like there's some celebration, like, yay, we got through this. Yay, yay, we finally got somewhere. Like we could finally move forward. The next rune I got, this is Helgelas. This is destruction. Okay, this is destruction from above. So destruction, chaos. I see a lot of chaos. When I'm being shown, when I pick up this rune, like touch this rune, I see the eastern half of the United States. I actually see a map, and I'm floating above, and I see like these little, it looks like little explosions more on the East Coast, like on the eastern states, but they seem like they're flashpoints, of some kind, like flashpoints of conflict and multiple flashpoints. And that, again, mostly on the eastern side. That's where I'm being drawn to, and not so much on the west. I'm just being focused more on the eastern U.S., where majority of the population is. Okay, and I'm also seeing the color blue for some reason. Eastern blue, and then I see bright flashes. So the next room, after the election, this is Algies. So Algies is sanctuary, but it's also the three polarities of positive, negative, and neutral. I'm seeing a sanctuary is like opened up in the middle of the U.S. So I'm actually seeing like there's chaos, and then people kind of, to escape the chaos, they kind of move towards the center of the U.S. to try to escape things and try to find, like they're searching for sanctuary, and I feel like there are safe havens that people set up that they can go to escape the kind of go through the chaos and kind of ride it out there. That's the impression I'm getting off the room. And so to go into a little bit of what I saw. Oh, my computer decided to just go nuts right now. One moment. Okay. Right at this moment, it was like my computer had a mind of its own. It was popping all sorts of stuff up, and wasn't me. So yeah, a lot of people in California have been moving to Texas too. I've seen that a lot. The which is center. You've seen a lot of Californians move to Texas. It's like the type of thing. Yeah, you've seen a lot of people moving towards the center. But I was actually shown a vision, and this is the vision, and I'm not going to mince words or anything because it's a vision and it came from God, and I'm not going to, candy coat it for anybody. And one of the paintings and if you can look, there's a painting I have of apples, and they're and I'll tell you about the symbolism of the apple. So I was given a dream, and in the dream it became a vision, and I was shown that God gave the U.S. a giant apple tree, and it was just for the poor people to live off of, just for them to support them temporarily until they can get on their feet and earn a living, get food for themselves. And it always produced abundant apples, and God gave us this. And then eventually all the other people, and they looked at all the other classes, whether you were lower, working class, poor person, but you could still afford food, or working class and you can afford more, or upper class and you're wealthy, or you're ultra wealthy and you can afford all the food you want. They all looked at the tree and said, why should I be working anymore? I should just eat all the free apples. I'm not going to work anymore. So everybody quits working and starts eating off the tree. Everybody's eating off the tree. And then when God sees it, he sends a lightning bolt and strikes the tree down. And then the fruit immediately rotted on the ground, and people were picking up the rotten fruit and eating it and pretending it's good, saying, we will always have this food. We will never be without it. And I was saying, okay, so how do I show this in a painting? You asked me to paint this and paint based on this. So there were several different apples, and the background of the painting has the USA. In fact, I still have it here. I can just go get it and show you, but it has the stars and stripes, but they're all, some of the stars and stripes are black, some of them white, some of them red, some of them are broken, and the stars are all over the place. It's to represent the disintegration of the U.S., the lack of cohesion. And then the first rune, all these depict rotten apples. So there's rotten apples in the front of this flag. And the first apple represents an addiction to visual entertainment. And so you'd have the big worm and the big eye, looking for entertainment. The next one represented drug addiction. So it was seeping all these chemicals out of it. And the third one represented media, which was the most awful apple because it looked like a horrible beast with many tongues and with all this rottenness and disease coming out, but all the many tongues led to one mouth. So it was tightly controlled media with like a beast that is speaking out all these horrible things and people believing it. And then the last apple was death, and that was represented with skull, and that's our war machine. I probably should get it, and I can get it for just a second. I'm sure I didn't sell it. It's still here. And I'll find it here for a second. But that is definitely, I wanted to show you that. Dig in for it a little bit. But if you don't see it on my website, you can go look at it. Well, I don't see it here at the moment. I'll have to show it on my, you have to get on my website and see it. But there are these apples, and you have to look at the painting, and I go into more details in the symbolism on the painting. And there's different forms of decay for each apple. And this is very serious. And God says, no, you're not doing this anymore. You're not going to get a free ride. Okay. You're striking you down. So it's horrible.
How many apples were you shown in the vision?
There was an endless supply of apples at first, as long as people honored the apple tree as something that was prosperity that God had given the United States. Specifically, gave us all this prosperity to help people who were poor and had nothing, as to sustain themselves until they can find a job and get the opportunity that they want and start building their own lives and being productive on themselves. But when this tree was struck, and it was this giant tree, it was this unbelievably huge tree, like as tall as a mountain, and only God gave this tree to the U.S. for this purpose. And people started getting arrogant and saying, I don't care to work or follow my dreams. I'm just going to live off of all of this that is out there, live off all the goods that's out there and not work for them. And that's what said, nope. God literally said no and struck it down. And so we were struck down. And many years ago, it was shown this for years that this would happen. I was told in a vision about 30 years ago, and he said there's going to be a collapse so bad it's going to be hard to get food, and no matter how hard, for the people that do work hard, no matter how hard they work, they're not going to be able to feed themselves. I will make the sky like flint and the ground like iron. Nothing will come of their work. And this is to humble the United States, and it's going to take a lot of destruction before the United States and for the American people to give up their pride. And I was shown a series of economic downfalls, and early a currency collapse, and we reprinted IOUs, like there were red, yellow, green cards printed in a series, and then that new currency would be issued, and then as soon as it was issued, it would collapse. I see there was like different states issuing their own currencies, trying to get through it. I saw, I even was shown food prices back then. So this was back in the early 2000s. I was shown like a fast food hamburger going for like $30.
Wow.
And people picking through garbage. But I also saw people that were gangs that were forming. Almost, if you've been watching Venezuela, when that country fell, because they were an oil-rich communist nation, and when they fell in a very similar way. There was it was dramatic. There was mass starvation, cannibalism, everything that reports of cannibalism going out there, and it'd be a similar fate for us. But I also saw people that chose to form communities that actually mutually helped each other and to lift people up. That also was given these little vignettes of what it's like little stories, little personal stories and snapshots of what it's like. If we also build an economy through borrowing, like taking out a loan, and you couldn't even do that. The banks would not loan anybody money to even start a business, so you can put an economy together back again. I was seeing that. I was showing also a lot of war. I was showing so much biological warfare, and biological warfare perpetuated by our own government against its own people. Biological warfare, as in a bioweapon being released intentionally.
Wow.
I saw so much going on, but I hope all I can do is hope and pray that we're able to pray against it, and that we submit to God, that God would spare us all this suffering that's to come. But there's a lot of humility that has to be brought before God to head all this off, because the pride and the arrogance of people in power, and thinking that this will always be, and nothing will ever change it, that it can't happen here. Well, it's going to happen here. I was even shown camps being set up here, like concentration camps, and I saw roundups. I saw foreign invaders like Chinese and Russians on American soil, mainly Chinese soldiers.
Right. Crystal's up on the board for you.
So I see cheating a lot. So let's do Crystal, but
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was showing all the bad things, but I really hope that people turn and pray and listen to the warnings and depend on spirit. So Crystal, the first room I have for you, this is Isa. So Isa is pause, delay. I'm getting told rest. I'm actually being told the word rest. So please rest. I'm being told that you have to rest. Give yourself time to rest. It's crucial that you rest. The next rune I have is Tiwaz. So Tiwaz is victory. But this is also pointing north. It's pointing to the North Star, which the North Star was deemed very important. It was the star that you guided you. So this rune is telling me that trust that God will handle it. God will handle this. So trust that God will handle it. Okay. And the next rune I have is Rytho. So Rytho is the rune of journey, but a journey of honor. And I'm getting light, a journey of light. This rune is really telling me that you're being pulled towards a different life path by a higher power, by God. And you recognize that, and you're starting to realize that this is God's doing, and he's putting you on his path that he wants you on. And it's a path of light, and I'm literally showing a bright light. Like feels fulfilling, and it feels amazing for your spirit once you embrace that path that God is directing you to.
Well, that's awesome. Angie did a wonderful job again tonight. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And I will be, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm going to be, if you're welcome to sign up, if you are in Ohio, and if you're going to be in the Marietta area, Marietta, Ohio, I will be at the Anchorage Mansion this Saturday doing private readings from about noon to about 7 o'clock or so, but you would need to sign up ahead of time at hiddenmarietta.com. And this will probably be my last private readings for the year, as far as spirit portraits and rune readings together in person. And then I'll be resuming again in January.
Awesome. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we got a show coming up in 24 minutes. We're going to talk about briefly the election and a prayer for the country and what direction we're going to go into. So stay tuned for that. See you in 23 minutes. Godspeed. Thank you, Angela. See you shortly. Bye-bye.
See ya.